The Fake Baseball Podcast is brought to you by Salary Cap Sports. Enjoy fantasy baseball and want to give a new format a try? SalaryCapSports.com has got you covered. It's free and you can win cash prizes. You start with $50 million and you build your best team you can before opening day. After that, build your squad. You get 4 moves a week, buying and selling guys for your roster. Player prices change constantly depending on how often players get bought and sold. So finding those hidden gems will be essential. Sign up now and play for free at SalaryCapSports.com. Don't miss your chance at those free cash prizes. What up, everybody? It is a Friday episode of the Fake Baseball Podcast. It is Blake Meyer, as usual. It is Dylan Lydell, as usual. And with us today, we have ourselves a special guest, Tyler Zuber of the Cleveland Guardians. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Hey, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing good. How are you?
Great, man.
Yeah. Happy to have you on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
All right, so we'll get right into it. If nobody's heard, you just signed with the Cleveland Guardians. You signed a minor league deal. You got yourself a invitation to spring training. I know that was all kind of a whirlwind. Have you been able to settle in yet down there? I'm assuming you're in Arizona now, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I've been able to settle in. It's obviously anytime that you join a new organization, it's different, but just solely because you don't know them, they don't know you. And then obviously like having to relearn everyone all over again. But normally like there's a few guys in there that you know, or at least have heard of, or have some sort of like way that you can talk to them. Like, oh, do you know so-and-so? Man, this is what I thought about him, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it's been a really smooth, easy transition. I've been very happy, very, very pleased, and very blessed with what I've seen and what I've talked to and whatnot.
Okay. So what then? What's the process of all of that then, I guess, is the question. So obviously you were at Driveline. You were at their pro day. Mm-hmm. Incredible pro day footage, by the way. I think I've watched it like 100 times, man. I will get into that in a minute. But incredible pro day. So obviously you do that, and I'm guessing the hopes is obviously to sign with somebody, correct?
Yeah. So honestly, like when I got released after July with the D-backs, they released me. I got to go flip the steaks over.
You're good.
After I got released, there was some things that I knew that I was not doing well after having surgery. And so I just knew that like that there had to be something, but I just didn't know what. And so whenever my wife and I were sitting on the couch here in Arizona, and we were like searching through, we were kind of mindlessly scrolling through social media, and I was on Instagram and I saw this video of Driveline, and they were talking about how they take a picture through like basically where you pitch in underwear, and then go through, and then they give you like a breakdown, like you do this well, you do this poorly, these are the drills that we think will help you achieve what we're wanting you to achieve. And then I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. So then I immediately started going there, and we established there was probably like 3 or 4 things that was like, this is like our main focus to achieve. Like they didn't have like my before, but it was like, you're at like the 10th percentile in like these 3 or 4 things, but you're like, and we need like, our baseline is like, you need to at least be like in the 70s. So I was like, boom, there it is. Like I have 2 or 3 things. So then we went into that. And it was more prepping to get ready to go to the Dominican to showcase. So like our main focus was like achieving all that, as well as like off-speed pitches and then getting the velocity up. That was it. All
right, so then I got to ask you, that cutter, you told me, I'd ask you about it. You told me this is new. How new is that cutter? Like, is that something that Driveline implemented recently, or is that something you kind of been toying with a little bit and they kind of tweaked it for you?
So it kind of dates way back to like in 2018. We faced the Astros and all their guys threw cutters, and all the hitters were like, "We can't hit this pitch. Like it looks like it's just an offset fastball. Like we can't hit it."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Man, like I can't throw that. Like I physically like I'm struggling throwing it. Like I can lob it and throw it, but like putting any effort behind it, I can't do it." So as I was going through my rehab, my slider was like 79 to 80. And they come up to me several times with the D-backs and was like, listen, like, we need your slider to be harder. Like, 79, 80 is just not going to play. And I was like, listen, I'm going to throw this next one as hard as I can, and I want you guys to tell me what it is. So I ripped it as hard as I could, and it was like 82. And I was like, that's my best bolt. Like, I don't have anything left. Like, so then I just like changed my grip one day, and like all of a sudden it was like the numbers metrically was like, that's pretty good. Like it was 88 miles an hour, and I was like, catcher, what'd you think? And they were like, it kind of broke like a cutter, but it's like a slutter a little bit. And I was like,
ooh,
all right, so maybe we'll just keep playing with it. So like I had that, and then I had a slider. And then I developed a sweeper later on, but right, like a couple weeks before I got released, I developed a sweeper. And then, so then I was like, that was my slider. And I had a cutter ish, if you will, and then a fastball. So like that was my 3-pitch mix. And then whenever I went to Driveline, that's when we were like, okay, on your cutter, like let's try to get it more verti and less horizontal. Like let's try to like make it like a baby cutter, so now it will play better off your fastball, because you don't need like or for me, I didn't need like a 9 to 10 inch break cutter because it's so hard to control. I was like,
yeah,
I just want something like little that I can throw really hard, but just enough to I can get off the barrel. And so
I
that
got
was
you.
kind of our what we wanted to achieve with that pitch.
The spin rates on that thing are what caught my eye the most. I think I saw one get up to like 2,700 RPMs just in a little video of the drive line from your pro day, which is I love the analytical side of stuff. Obviously, I'm not a professional baseball player because I'm sitting in my room with Funko Pops on the wall. But I love the analytical side. I love the spin rates. I love seeing guys such as yourself that are kind of working to progress these pitches that they know can be successful at that high level.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great pitch to complement the fastball. Is the plan for that to kind of take over for that changeup that you had previously, or are you still going to work the changeup in a little bit?
No, that's probably going to be one of if not my out pitch to use against like lefties and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely like, I mean, like I'll still like tinker around with the changeup and whatnot, like just tinker around with like different grips and such. But it's more of like, it was just so inconsistent in trying to throw it for a strike and trying to command it. Like I was like, it was just very erratic. So to combat that, obviously I have a cutter now that I can throw really hard, and it's like, and I'm able to command it. Just the next project now is to work on like both sides of the plate with it and such.
And then your velo ticked up on your fastball a bit, didn't it too?
Yeah, it's like back to what it was pre-surgery. So I'm thankful that it came back. So like, honestly, whenever it came back, the cutter velo went up, slider velo went up, sweeper velo went up. Like they all like just started to uptick. So I was like, okay, we're in a good spot then.
That's got to be such a good feeling. I know you had that right shoulder impingement syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
What was the process of that? I know Dylan is fairly familiar with that as well.
Yeah, that's what I was told that kind of ruined I don't know, stop playing right after high school, but that's what I was told what was going on with my shoulder. I went to multiple physical therapists. They were never really able to figure it out for me. I never went under the knife for it. So I'm just kind of curious to hear your journey about it too.
Yeah, so at first it was like it was a pinch.
Mm-hmm.
Basically my humerus was pinching up against like, I don't know what the exact bone is, but it was pinching up against it. It's like causing like my rotator cuff to like get inflamed, and like that was causing like the pain and such. So Basically we tried to rehab it and we tried to calm it down that way. And when that didn't work, that's whenever we got another MRI done. And as soon as we got the other MRI done, and it basically popped up. It was like, well, you have some tearing there. And so then we were like, oh, okay, well, obviously that's the problem then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was weird though. Like it was a very, like, I realized that there was more to it because I know with the impingement wise, like it would only hurt doing certain movements.
Right. That's all I feel. It's littler movements for me still, even like it's like the shorter range movements,
Yeah.
and not so much like the big powerful wide range stuff. It's like stuff closer to me that I really notice it and feel it. Like even throwing, like I'll just get gassed out fatigue really easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never recommend a surgery for me. That's interesting. They just kept sending me to different physical therapists, and they thought they would get it figured out with just that. But no, that's interesting.
Yeah, whenever we got the second MRI to realize that there was some tearing, it was like, oh, well, that's why like my shoulder hurts all the time. Like I'm just sitting here hurts, sleep hurts, like trying to lift something up hurts. So it's like there's more to it than just like that's not just pinching. Like there's something else that was causing the pain or whatever.
Yeah, I feel that because I played it was my last high school senior season. I just played through it. It sucked. And then I just called it quits after that just because I couldn't do it no more. Couldn't get through it. It was tough, but it is what it is.
The shoulder's definitely like by far that's the
tricky one.
That's the one that like if it hurts, if it's aching, if it's nagging or anything like that, that's the toughest one to throw through.
Right.
Elbow wise, you can throw through it, but it's like shoulder. If you're feeling anything in your shoulder, that's the one that's like, man, this sucks.
Hey, I feel it. I know exactly what you're saying. It does suck. It does suck because I should be able to chuck it a little bit, nothing like your case, but not seeing anywhere near that anymore. It does suck.
All right, so I'm guessing you're healed from that now, correct? You're feeling good?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, right. I feel better now than what I did before surgery. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he gave me 20 more years worth of life on my arm.
That's right.
Wouldn't that be amazing? You could be the next Jamie Moyer. Watching his highlights this morning, pitched until he's 49. Never know. So just random question. I'm always curious. At what point in your life did you have a moment where you were just kind of like, I might be able to do this professionally? Like, were you like 10 years old? Was it high school? Was it college?
So I would say at each league, like Little League, Babe Ruth, high school, college, there was different moments. Like when I was in Little League, I'd say it was probably my 10-year-old year. I started to turn into like the number one and whatnot. And then I was like, hey, like maybe I'm pretty good at this pitching thing. And then in Babe Ruth, which is 13 through 15, when I turned 14, that's whenever I started I was kind of running through the league, and I was like, maybe there's a possibility. And then in high school, it was my junior year. I was our number one. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, I mean, I'm throwing against all these good high school teams, and I'm pretty much like kind of mowing them down. And then that summer is the same thing. I went like pitched against like kind of the better competition in the state and like some of the surrounding states. And I was like, maybe there's a little bit more to it. And then it was my senior year of college, because or freshman year of college, I was like, wait a minute, like I'm kind of competing against some of the best in the country, like college wise. And then sophomore year, I kind of repeated it. Junior year, a lot of expectations and then a lot of immaturity for me, which caused me to suck. And then my senior year, whenever I hit like another level my senior year, that's whenever it was like, wait a minute, like I think I'm probably one of the top pitchers in our league. If I don't get drafted or if I don't continue playing for some unforeseen reason, I know I went out as one of the best. So I was like, I can hang my head held high, but like in my head, I was like, if I don't, I'm going to be pretty upset because I feel like there's a lot more that I just unlocked and there's a lot more left.
And then that's got to be such a cool feeling to be like your senior year and then just have that realization where you're like, I think I might get drafted. Like, did you have like a little draft party to wait and see if you got called, or did you just go about daily life and then wait for your agent to call?
Well, so we had a scout day in the fall, and some other guys on the team were getting letters. I didn't actually get any letters that day. I didn't get a letter until like a week after, and I got like 2 or 3 letters and a couple emails. So I was like 4 or 5 total. You know, everyone's asking around like, "Hey, what'd you get? Hey, what'd you get?" Like, "Oh, I got 5. I got 6. I got 7. I got 8." I'm like, man, I felt like I was like one of the better performers that day, and I only got 3. Like, I was like, you know what? Forget it. Like, 3 is better than nothing. And then as the season kept rolling on, like, and I was throwing harder because I did a couple changes, there was a couple more scouts at every game, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, these 2 teams they're sending you some stuff. Okay. 2 weeks later goes by. It's like, hey, these 4 teams will be there this weekend. Like, holy smokes. And then towards the end of the year, it was like, hey, you have meetings with these 5 clubs whenever they come in. It's like, meetings. Now we've progressed to meetings. And then it was like, hey, by the way, some higher ups are coming in to watch you pitch, just kind of giving you a heads up. And I thought, wow. And then I'd go home after our conference tournament, and I think I was on the phone with like 8 or 9 clubs before it. And then it was me, my mom, and my dad. I think my sister. We were just kind of sitting on the couch, huddled around the iPad. And of course, I was sitting down. I was trying to sleep in, and I get a phone call at 8 o'clock in the morning from like it was like from 8 to like 10:30. I was getting phone calls. It was like, hey, today's the day. Will you accept this amount of money? Yes. Hey, today's the day. Will you accept it? Yes. Like, I'm a senior. I have not like it's not a I think I'm gonna do it. And it's like, yes.
You're doing it.
Choice. So getting told all that at 8 o'clock in the morning and then trying to fall back asleep is like next to borderline impossible. So of course now I'm like fired up and jacked up. My dad has to go to work. So he's like, he's a police officer, or was a police officer. So he's like patrolling. So then I'd give him a call and say, hey, so-and-so just called. They said I might go like next round. So he'd drive home, the round go by, nothing. All right, I got to go back to work. And then it was like the 5th round, they took a break, and then he calls. The Royals call, and I was like, hey, the Royals said 6th or 7th. So he comes home. And then as soon as my name was called, me, him, and my mom, I was in the backyard. He was in the front yard. Mom was on the couch. And I think we were on the phone, texting or phone calls for, I think, 3 hours straight.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was like, say the
That's
draft happened at
intense.
1. Like, I don't think we finally got to sit down as us 3 and was like hug it out until around 4. Yeah, it was.
That's super cool.
Incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of speaking on your college stuff. Did I read this right? You were the highest draft pick in Arkansas State history.
I was.
That's an awesome accomplishment. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so when it came to that decision ultimately to play there, were there any other schools that you had in mind to go to, or did you just kind of have your eyes set on the home school?
It was pretty much everyone in state.
Yeah.
A couple out of state, but nothing that I was like, man, like I'm kind of considering these out of state schools. I would say like my probably top 3 was Arkansas State, probably UCA, Central Arkansas, and then probably for some reason Harding University is a D2. he kept like upping the scholarship money. Like he just like was like, man, we want you, man, we want you. Here's another 1,000. Here's another 4,000. It's like,
Yeah.
man, like, and I liked it too, but I was like, man, like at a school like Arkansas State, like it's not Arkansas by no means, but like for me, like I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Arkansas State.
Yeah,
So
I feel that, man. Showing the school love. I love it. And so have you always, I mean, were you ever a starting pitcher at one point or
in
that
high school, and
high
then
school?
like 8 games my sophomore year and 8 games my junior year.
Okay, so but you've been in the pen for some time now.
Mm.
What's kind of been the mentality switch, or like, what differences have you had to make kind of flipping that switch from a starter to a pen guy?
As a reliever, honestly, it's just like go out and just go get them. Like it's kind of like my best against your best for 3 batters, and
Yeah.
then after that, I'm gonna go sit down, have some water, and then get ready to do it the next day. As a starter, I mean, I haven't done it in so long, but like as a starter, like you're a whole lot more like routine based.
Right, right.
You're very meticulous with like your work, and it's like, all right, day 1 after I got to do this, day 2 do this, day 3. It's like it's
Lot
cool
to
and
keep
all.
up with.
Yeah, it's cool and all, but like for me, like it I don't think it would work well for me. But again, if somebody wants me to be a starter, I'll be a starter. I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Just given the opportunity to go and do it. Yeah, I mean, some guys do prefer that, just going out there, let it all out, 1 inning, 2 innings maybe, and then see what the next day's like. I feel that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just so did you just finish up your first season at Driveline, or how long have you been there now?
It was on it. I think it was just like a few months. Yeah.
Few months. Okay, so you just got there then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was I only did July to like 1st of October, and then like a little bit in December, and then pretty much all of January.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, trying to think of what else I got. My big thing is like, what kind of superstitions you got? Like, you got any, or like what pregame, walk up music, walk out music? What do you got?
Never step on the line.
Right. Big one.
I mean, honestly, other than that, like,
So nothing too crazy. I mean, that's a big one. Everybody, you just got to follow that rule as a player, but
yeah,
don't.
I'm trying to think if I don't.
Nothing wild then.
No, I'm never really. I used to have one back when I started, but like now, like no, now nothing. No.
Right. Yeah. Mine, I don't know, for whatever reason it was, like for my cleats, I hated when the shoelaces would show, or like the bunny tie would show on my, so I'd always have to cover them. That was like my big superstition whenever I was playing. I always had to cover my shoelaces. I haven't heard that one from anybody else.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another good one. I've seen that from some guys. I don't know if it's a superstition, but I've seen guys tuck it
Yeah.
in.
But I just, that was always what it was for me. It just drive me crazy if it wasn't like that. But yeah.
All right. One thing I would like to ask you about: do you collect baseball cards?
So I used to when I was a kid. The only real collecting that I would like to do is I'd like to get my 1-of-1 Inception card. Other than that, I don't really have like a like.
I'm not gonna lie. I looked it up before this. I was trying to find it online before this. I was gonna ask you if you had it, and then
I don't.
Do you remember signing it?
Yeah, I remember signing it. And like as I was like taking pictures of some of them, I think that was the one card that I didn't take a picture of that I was like, man, like I should have taken a picture of that one.
What was the process of signing all those? Like, does it take all day? Because I know you're in like Inception. I think you're in Topps Chrome. I think you're in Bowman Chrome. I collect a lot of baseball cards. So like you have a lot of autographed cards out there. Is it like painstakingly long, or is it just kind of a mindless sign process?
The first was like Topps Inception, so that one wasn't bad because it wasn't as many. And then I had no, I'm sorry, I had the labels. So like all the labels,
Yep.
that was like a huge box full of them. That took probably like about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Ooh.
And then in 21 spring training, I got a whole bunch of more. I think I got like 8,000 cards. And so I would just try to do a sleeve a night. Yeah. So I would just sit down at the dinner table and turn the TV on and just like go to town, just sign like 10 or 15.
That's a lot of love right there.
Sign 10 or 15, watch TV for a little bit, let my hand get all uncramped, do it again. Like I thought that was a lot, but some of like the first rounders and like the big superstars that they get card deals every year that, there's no telling how many cards a year, probably 10, 15,000 a year that they have to sign. It's like, oh gosh.
Did they ask you if you want to do it, or did they just put you into like the set checklist and then like, hey, we're sending you stuff to sign?
No, so they offer you like a contract, and obviously like you're not going to turn down a contract.
Oh yeah.
So it's like if they offer you something, it's like, yes, like I'll do it no matter what. Like, sure, no problem.
I got you. That always seems so cool to me. I have fully planned on hopping off of this and getting one of your autos to add to my little wall. I have I have display cases downstairs. My girlfriend was nice enough to allow me to move my hobby to the living room, so I have some of those down there. And the only other thing that I have for you right now is what is your goal in spring training? Obviously, it feels like it would probably be to make the big league club. But outside of something like that, do you have like a personal goal for spring training that you're looking to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all want to make the big league club again, or some want to make it for the first time. For me personally, I want to see like myself go out there and do it and get big league hitters out again, especially with kind of like a couple new pitches and whatnot. It's like just proving to myself again, like this is where I belong. This is kind of like a little, like, we're just going to scratch the surface of like, hey, you can still get them out. Your stuff is still good enough to do that. It's just like almost like a reassurance. Like in my mind, I believe it, but it's like now I go out there and do it. It's like double affirmation. So it's like perfect. Like now I know where I'm at. Roll into the season on a high of confidence and then just keep going from there.
There you go. That's a pretty damn good goal. It's one thing to think you could do it, and it's another to be able to like show yourself and others that you actually do still have the ability to do that. And then I lied. I have one more question because I completely forgot. I wanted to ask. So you debuted in the COVID season, which is like the weirdest sports season of all time. How odd was that to make your debut with no fans?
I mean, personally, I think it was unique because now, whenever I have kids one day and then, they're learning about, well, there was the COVIDs and then COVID baseball. Now it's like, hey, my dad did that. Or, like, I think it's unique. Obviously it sucked not having fans and not having my parents there to see it. They could only watch on TV. But I think it was cool. Like it was something like unique. It was something that's like, I'm now part of history.
I agree that that had to be a weird setting, just a quiet ballpark when you're expecting like 35,000 people to be there cheering for you. And then it's like,
just fake,
nobody here.
It's fake automated crowd noise with with cutouts of people sitting in the stands.
I almost bought one. We live in like the Seattle area, and I don't even remember how much they were. I think it was like $100. You get a cut out of yourself for the stands, and I was so close to doing it just to be able to tell I got 3 kids, 10, 8, and 7, And I wanted to be like, look, I was there for the whole season. Like I couldn't go, but I was there. But Tyler, thank you for coming on with us. This was a blast. We would love to have you back on at some point during the season. We're going to be monitoring your success moving forward. It has been a blast having you on here. Everybody go follow him on Twitter. It's a great follow. Go watch that Driveline video. It's excellent. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not even trying to act weird. Like, it was a really good video. The movement you get on the baseball is incredible. Make sure you go follow him. Follow us at Fake Baseball. You can catch me at Falake, Dylan at DLydell_09. And until next week.